We're rolling. Okay, let's get started. Everybody, today is going to be just probably the best episode yet.
Oh my God, I'm honored.
And we have some really good group chat questions.
Okay, yay.
And we're the perfect people to answer them. You guys sent in some really, really good questions this week. My guest today is someone I feel like I've known forever, even though we are in the room together today. Cameron Oakes Rogers. You might know her as Freckled Foodie. I was always a fan of her food content, but you definitely know her from conversations with Cam. And if you've ever been knee deep in motherhood at 2 a.m., Googling, is this normal? She's basically built her whole world right now around that exact moment. Mental health, postpartum, the unspoken stuff, all of it, and a side of cursing.
Yep.
She's a mom of 2. She's pregnant. 24 weeks pregnant? 20?
Something like that. 23.
Yeah. Wildly honest. And yeah, I'm so excited. Cam, hi.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here.
Cam and I were just talking about my postpartum depression.
Yeah. It's a fucking doozy.
It's
Am I
really,
allowed to curse? I'm sorry.
Of course
Okay.
you're allowed.
Okay. It's a fucking doozy.
Please curse.
Yeah. Okay. I will.
I've been talking about PPD on my channels for the last week or two. Yeah. I confessed. I was like, guess what, guys? I have postpartum depression. I feel like it's really important to tell people that.
I agree. I was the same way. I found that when I shared my experience, so many people, it was a little bit of there were 2 sides to it where I was receiving people messaging me being like, oh, I've experienced this too. And I was reminded I wasn't alone, which was also very nice. And then I feel like I was reminding other people that they weren't alone. And so I find there's only a benefit in sharing these experiences if you're comfortable. If you're someone who likes to keep stuff close to the chest, I get it. But I don't think it's something to be ashamed of.
I agree with you completely. But I think that sort of the shame going away is still kind of new, because I feel like you were talking about postpartum depression sort of early before a lot of people were talking about postpartum depression.
2021.
Yeah. That's pretty early for the PPD conversation on social media.
Yes. And my to that, I had been open about being on antidepressants in general. And I felt that was a very normal thing to share. I never really questioned it, but my inbox was flooded with people being like, oh my God, thank you for talking about this.
Yeah. When I started Love Wellness in 2016, it was really out of both a physical health journey. I had all these vitamin deficiencies and gut health issues and vaginal health issues, but I also was really struggling mentally. And I remember I wrote an article on my old blog, The Lowdown, about how I had the worst year ever. And I basically came out and was like, I'm so depressed. I'm so anxious. And it was it shocked people, but in a good and bad way.
Yeah.
They were like, I can't believe that you're talking about this stuff, but also I think a lot of people saw themselves in it. And so
the reality is a lot of us are struggling. The world we live in, I don't know anyone who's not right now.
Completely.
So I just think that there's only a benefit in having the conversations.
100%. I love your podcast.
Thank you, my love.
It's so kick-ass.
You came on so long ago.
Yeah.
So long ago. I was trying to remember when that even was.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think it was Zoom. I could be wrong.
I
gotta find that date. The last 5 years are a blur to me.
They're such a blur. And when I think about the context of my entire life, I can't remember a period of time that has gone by more quickly than the past 5 years, even the last 10 years.
I think COVID really confused my brain with time. And I had a kid during COVID. Well, one was actual COVID. And so that also confused everything. So for me, 2020 was a different life, and it was 2 years ago.
Tell me your lore.
Okay.
You got hit by a fucking car.
Oh, I did. Whenever I say that, people are like, what? I'm like, that is, I guess, part of my lore. Well, I used to work with your very good friend, Hannah.
Yeah.
I was originally her intern. So I used to work at JP Morgan, and I did sales and trading. Banker Cam. And lived a completely different life. Started a food account because I was dealing with a bunch of digestive health issues.
Yeah.
I had SIBO constantly. I was so constipated. I was so bloated. It was
you had SIBO?
Yeah, multiple times. All this shit, and couldn't get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
And
probably hard to diagnose SIBO back then also.
Yes.
Probably hard to find a doctor that's let's do a breath test.
Literally. Also, I remember finding out about medical medium, that guy, remember with the celery juice?
God, yes.
Okay, I used to do celery juice and I would go to stores and
Oh my
beg
God,
them
I
to
forgot about
just
celery
juice
juice.
celery.
Holy
And
shit,
they
I
would look
forgot.
at me like, are you crazy? I'm like, please, can you just juice celery? They wouldn't do it for me. I had one shop on 8th Ave and 14th that would do it. And then like 2 years later, it was like everyone was selling just celery juice. Anyway, I started this food account, all food. My face was not on it because I didn't want it to like confuse people at work or like
Yeah.
my clients. And I don't know, like it was a big girl job.
Yeah, I mean, you were a banker. You're not allowed to do
Like,
anything
yeah.
else. Yeah.
And so I was also in school to become a health coach on the side. I was doing all these things and I loved it so much. Like
Stuff
Hannah
that you like
with
actually are
Mimi Tanks, like
into.
I would sit down and I would open Mind Body Green, Well and Good, Eater, Infatuation. I was not reading like Wall Street Journal or Barron's.
Yeah.
And my brain was like, you should be doing this. But I was terrified about like what people would think. My job was so wrapped up in my ego. The pay was obviously really good. This was pre-influencer world of what we know right now. So
Yeah.
I had no idea how you could even make money off of
Well,
this.
it was even like pre-girl boss.
Yeah.
You know what I
was,
mean?
yes. And it was, what year was this?
Maybe it was like early girl boss
2017.
days.
It was early.
Okay, it was early girl boss
Early
days.
girl boss, but not like social media girl
Right.
boss.
Yeah, no, that didn't exist
We
yet.
didn't know. There were like maybe 5 wellness influencers, but it was very unclear how they made money
Mm-hmm.
or if they did.
I don't think they did.
Yeah, I don't think they did, quite honestly. Or it was like food blogs. You know, that's how they were making money.
It was the blog life.
The
back
blog
then.
life.
Yeah.
So I started this blog, Freckled Foodie, and my Instagram was the same handle. And again, I just felt like I was burning the candle on both ends. I was waking up at the ass crack of dawn to like work on this stuff, to get to the gym, to get to my
Go to
desk by
SoulCycle.
6:30. Yeah, going to the 5 a.m. Soul Cycle or berries.
Yeah.
Like I can't fathom that life now. And it kind of hit a point where I was like, I really want to do something with this, but I have no idea what it would even be. And I have this great job and this great career path ahead of me. Like, let's just focus on that. But then I got hit by a car.
I'm sorry, I shouldn't laugh.
No,
but
you
I
can
laugh
because I'm
a
so
door
grateful
fell-
for it
Yeah,
now.
a door fell on my head once, so I also had a freak
We talked about
accident.
this.
Yeah.
I think our interview was right after that. I'm pretty sure our recording, and I'm going to look back after this and text you. I'm pretty sure
Was
our
it right
recording was
after the door
right
fell on my
after your
head?
door fell on your head because you were asking me questions about concussions and stuff.
Mm.
And I remember when you just said that, that triggered a memory. So anyway, I got hit by a car. I was crossing the street. I was doing everything I was supposed to do. I was going to like a skyting class for my favorite teacher who was teaching her first class at their new studio in Brooklyn. But I like had the walk sign. I was actually at a crosswalk, which I never do in New York. I looked both ways. Like I wasn't on my phone. And still this car hit me. And I say all that because I was such a type A control freak. And when this happened, it really shook me in the way that you can do everything in your control and life can still hand you a curveball.
Yeah.
So I was on disability from work because this was my 6th concussion. So it like really fucked me up. And during that time, I started meditating. I really started journaling. And I had this, I hate like this like come to Jesus moment, but this epiphany of like, I'm not happy at
Yeah.
this job. Sure, it's great to tell people I work there and I make really good money. But if I'm not happy, what's the point? I'll never have this least amount of responsibility in my life. I come
Right.
from financial privilege to be able to have like created a savings account and not have student debt and like take this risk. So I went back and I quit. And the goal was I was actually cooking for people in their homes. So
Oh,
I
really?
was like meal prepping
Mm-hmm.
for people all around New York City, health coaching, and then like creating recipes and meal prep guides on my website.
Mm-hmm.
And then that just like naturally progressed into kind of what it is now, where I started talking more about my mental health. I started sharing more about myself because I didn't have this job that I was like nervous of keeping separate. I then eventually got pregnant and I talked about the reality of really not liking pregnancy and then postpartum depression and then coming into motherhood and the matrescence and then the 1 to 2 and all of that. So it's definitely transitioned. I like barely talk about food anymore because I don't even
Isn't it
think
so
about it.
interesting how everyone has this like original internet story about what they were
Yes.
first doing on the internet and how it's changed so significantly
Yeah.
over time? And I think primarily through the vehicle of motherhood for many of
Many.
us,
Yes.
because it just shifts you so significantly. Like,
Hugely.
yeah, you still care about the original thing. It's still part of you. It's still like your job. But the new thing is just so shocking
Yeah.
and beautiful. And life changing?
Completely. I mean, do you feel that way with love
Life-changing
wellness
question
even?
mark?
Of like wanting to potentially shift in different directions within love wellness
I
now
think
that
what's
you've
really
experienced different
interesting
things?
is my business remains my core competency and focus.
Yeah.
And postpartum and motherhood has shown me that the care gap in this stage of life is so significant
Huge.
that I'm getting really excited to create Love Wellness's second act that focuses on this kind of next phase in
Right.
women's life,
Yeah, I
right?
think
And
your
so
eyes are opened.
I'm still using my own life experience to drive my business.
Mhm.
So for me, I'm still very much focused on work. And then I think doing this podcast creates this creative outlet for me to process everything in real time.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I feel the exact same way with my show and content. And I also feel so fortunate for the career that I've built where I've never felt that you need to pigeonhole yourself.
Yeah.
And you're allowed to evolve and grow and shift in whatever way you want and like really follow that passion. I think success follows that if you're doing something that you deeply care about. And so for me, people are like, why don't you do food content anymore? I'm like, I don't care about food anymore. Like I obviously eat to like sustain and I enjoy food, but the
Oh, you
idea,
still eat?
yeah, but the idea of like sitting down and creating a meal prep guide and actually meal prepping is kind of my nightmare in this
Yeah, I
stage
get
of
it.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has shifted. I completely understand. I think we're allowed to grow and change. And I think that the audience on the internet is starting to understand that because like they're growing and changing along with
Yeah.
us. What's so cool about the internet is that the day one audience still is the primary audience for a lot of creators.
Mhm.
They continue to grow and evolve, right? But like you find somebody and you go on their life journey with
Yeah.
them.
Mhm.
And I mean, you think about like, I don't know, think about like when the 50s or 60s. Was Marilyn Monroe alive then?
Girl, you're asking the wrong person.
Think about like how we like admired celebrities
Yeah.
back in the day, right? It was like just through like the gossip columns and like
Mhm.
a little article like here and there. People are so entrenched in our lives, but I think they understand that like we're multifaceted because they are multifaceted.
Totally. I mean, not to be parasocial, but like I watched you in high school. Like I've seen you, obviously you haven't seen me. I've seen you through so many phases of life where like I had my first kiss with my husband watching Newport Harbor.
Stop.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Because we were in high school and like we would watch. It was post Laguna Beach. It was Newport Harbor. So I don't know what it was.
Oh yeah, the show like changed, right?
Yeah,
I
it
don't even
changed.
know.
You weren't in Newport Harbor, I don't think. But I obviously watched you in Laguna Beach. But like I've seen you through so many phases of life.
It's so
Like, it's
weird
wild.
because back then it was like a one-way relationship, right?
Right.
Like the viewer to the people on TV, and the internet has turned it into a two-way relationship. And
For
I
good and
prefer the
bad.
two-way relationship.
Yes and I mean, yes and no. I've never been in that shoe or like that atmosphere of someone, but I imagine some of that can be so wildly overwhelming, more so today's world than when Laguna Beach was around.
Well, back then, I think it created this sense of isolation for everybody on these shows. We
Yeah.
were like having this weird social experiment experience.
I still can't believe they like allowed Laguna Beach.
And it probably would have been easier to a certain degree if the internet was like going back then. I don't know. It was just like Perez Hilton making fun of us at that point in
Right.
time.
Oh God.
But you know what? Actually, I take that back because like I'm just thinking about like the current Bravo landscape.
That's
and
what I'm saying.
And like
I
how
can't even
horrifying and how
fathom.
horrifying that is for everybody on these shows. And I'm just like, okay, never mind.
Yeah.
I think what I love about a two-way relationship on the internet is that like I get to talk to people who listen to this show,
Oh,
who are
that's
Love
the
Wellness
best.
customers, and that's what I'm talking
Yes,
about. Is that
that is the best.
I like literally DM with people every single day
all the time. I'll
Like-
run into them in the street and I'm like, oh, I recognize your face. We DM all the time.
we DM all the time.
And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, of course I know you.
100%. Tell me about your pregnancy and your kids
Yeah.
and motherhood and like all of this stuff. Like having 3 kids is a lot.
Yeah. Well, I'll call
think
you when it
I'm
happens.
gonna try to have a second, but I think I'm gonna stop there. So I'm like, holy shit.
I mean, yeah. I am one of 3 and my husband's one of 4. So we always wanted 3.
yeah.
But my first pregnancy rocked me in a way that I was not prepared for. I was so annoying before I got pregnant. I was like, oh, my body craves being pregnant. I can't wait. You know the movie Now and Then? It's an old movie. It's like one of my favorite movies, but it's from the 90s. And there's a scene where the pregnant like it goes between when they're in high school and when they're older, and she's pregnant and she has like a bowl of, I think it's grapes or ice cream on her belly. And like that is just what I was excited for. I was like, I can't wait to be pregnant. My body craves it. I'm so excited.
Yeah, like week 30 on.
Yeah.
Turns out it's a nightmare.
And I hated everything about my first pregnancy. And
no.
that's when I started this whole series of what the fuck is happening to my body.
Yeah.
Because I really was shocked by everything. I was the first of my friend group to get pregnant. I don't think at that point, 2020, we saw on social media what we see today.
No, not at all.
Of the reality of pregnancy. It was like sunshine and butterflies and look at how beautiful I am and I'm glowing. And I was like, I have none of that. Like my nipples are huge. My boobs are covered in blue veins. I have hair everywhere. I reek. Everything hurts. My cystic acne is awful. Like, what is going on? And so when I was pregnant, I turned to my husband. I was like, I don't know if I'm doing this again to begin with, let alone 3 times. And similarly, my first postpartum was a really hard time for me. I struggled with postpartum depression and postpartum anxiety. And I think that matrescence window of like coming into motherhood and that new identity was just really confusing for me, as it is for many women. It's a complete identity shift.
Yeah, 100%.
And so when we got pregnant with our second, I like wrote this whole letter to myself. Like, you were not allowed to do this again. You were done.
You wrote a letter to yourself?
Like,
reminding yourself that you should not do this again?
Because I was like, do not forget how much you hate this. I like keep saying I'm going to make a video of this. And being like really scared for postpartum because of how bad it was with my first.
I get it.
And I joked to my husband. I was like, the second this baby is born, you're getting your vasectomy. We're not having 3. He was like, why don't you take a beat? Let's just assess. Like, you're in the heat of the moment of pregnancy right now. We'll see. But that's fine if we're only going to have 2. But we don't have to decide right now. And so after I gave birth, it was so fascinating because my second postpartum was so different than my first in a beautiful way.
Oh, that's so nice.
Child-wise, a lot more difficult. Like, we dealt with a lot more medical issues. There was just a lot more going on, but mentally, light years better.
Wow.
And so I was like, wait.
Do you think it's because you knew what to expect?
I've been thinking about this a lot.
The second time?
I think a lot of the first was this, again, it's a complete life-altering moment of like your life completely changes. And by the time
in an instant.
By the time the second comes around, you're already equipped with like, oh, we have to do bedtime. Oh, my life revolves around someone else, not just me. Oh, I care about different things. A schedule, you know, like, you know, all those things. And you have a confidence where you know that everything's temporary. With my first, I felt like everything was permanent. I will never sleep again. I will always be covered in breast milk. My life will always be set around this kid's sleeping schedule.
Yeah.
It feels permanent. And then you realize it's not.
It's not.
With your second,
it changes constantly.
Yeah.
As it turns out,
it's not forever. We also had some overnight help with our second, which we didn't have with our first. So like there were a few nights where I was actually able to sleep.
Yeah.
Which was very helpful for my brain.
Sleep is the currency.
Sleep is the currency.
Sleep is the most valuable thing to any mother and father.
Yes.
When you have a baby.
And we were like, oh, we only need help. Like, we did 3 nights a week for 6 weeks with our second, which is still such a privilege. But I was under the impression that our second would sleep like our first, who like we were blessed with this like angel infant with our first. And my second didn't sleep for 6 months. So I was like, why did we only do 6 weeks? What was wrong with us? But I feel like those things all played a role. And I love the chaos of my life. And very shortly after having a second, I was like, oh no, there will be a third in this mix. I'm going to hate being pregnant.
Yeah.
But it is worth the life that we want. Yeah. So like, I am oddly so excited for this newborn experience, which is rare for me because I'm not a newborn parent. I love when the baby can talk and communicate.
Yeah.
And it's that 2-way street. But like part of me is actually really craving that newborn experience. And maybe it's because I know it's the last one.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's very sweet. This makes me want to have my next baby. It does. I've oddly like been thinking about it again. I am a psychopath.
Yeah, you got to let your body heal.
I know. Of course I do.
Yeah.
But I think it's probably positive that I'm thinking about it. Do you know what I mean?
I was terrified of that.
Well, I'm terrified because I had such a complicated end of pregnancy and postpartum And I think I have a lot of medical trauma,
Valid.
and that is what I think I am uniquely scared about, because I think I lost a lot of faith in like the people that were supposed to like take care of me.
Yeah, it's fair.
And I asked my psychiatrist about that last week. She was like trying to talk to me about it. I was like, can we talk about this like when I'm closer to this? I
Right.
know that I need to deal with this at some point, but like I had like bad gestational diabetes. Then I had gestational hypertension and the
Right, I feel
baby
like
had
you
to
had
come early. Then I
everything.
had a retained fucking placenta.
Yeah.
And then the placenta, the pathology on it was like borderline malignant and all of these things. And it just like,
Yeah.
I don't know where to like put all of that energy. You know what I
I
mean?
think right now, I don't know if it's something you can process because you're so focused on baby and yourself. Like you're so fresh. You are so fresh.
And we're on Zurzuvae right now.
Yeah. Like I
Hell
didn't
of a
feel like a
drug.
human until I was 9 months postpartum.
Yeah.
And so I
Well-
think then you can have and also I think it's twofold. Your medical trauma and fear is so valid. And there might be a part of you, some of my friends who had pretty terrifying things happen are like, I'm actually excited for a do-over because I feel like I was robbed of certain things. Whether you get that or not, no one will know, but I think that's a dream for many.
Yeah, I like the idea of a do-over to me feels like it would hurt my daughter's feelings because like I don't want to think about
But
like
a
I
do-over
need a
for
do-over.
you. You don't
know
need a
what I
do-over
mean?
of the baby.
Yeah.
A do-over for your own experience. They're two separate things.
They are two separate things, but
yes.
I'm like still
I get
conflating
that.
them in my
I get
brain.
that.
You know what I mean? I'm obsessed with my daughter. I don't want her to feel like
But two
mommy
things can
needed a
be true.
do-over.
Two things can be true. You can be obsessed with your daughter and want a do-over of your delivery and experience medically.
Yeah.
And that's so valid.
Valid.
That's how I felt of like, I wanted a do-over of postpartum where I wasn't an anxious wreck the entire time, terrified of like throwing my baby down the stairs.
Oh, yeah,
And like,
fair.
I love my baby so much, but I wanted that experience. I was hopeful for a postpartum where that wasn't controlling my brain 24/7.
Totally. I learned that all of those weird thoughts actually like your brain is creating weird thoughts because you actually care about
To
the exact
prepare
opposite
yourself.
thing.
Yeah.
Isn't that so?
I said to my psychiatrist,
the
I was
brain
like, I
is so
don't
fucked
want
up.
to throw my baby down the stairs. Why do I see it happening 25 times a day?
Yeah, and then it becomes like obsessive.
Yeah. You remember Final Destination?
No.
What?
Is that when they're on the bus?
You don't remember those movies?
Is that when they're on the bus?
We're like kind of the same generation. I think there are like 4 or 5 of them. I used to call them Final Destination thoughts before I knew the word intrusive thoughts.
I don't think I've
Because
seen
in Final Destination,
Is that Sandra Bullock?
no.
No.
I don't think so. They were the most fucked up movies. They would see something really bad happening and all these people dying. Like there was one with like a big truck with these like lumbar wood on it on the highway, you know? And like the wood came toppling down.
Kim, I have no idea what you're talking
Okay,
about.
Callum, do you know what I'm talking about? Okay, thank you so much. And they would see it happening. So then they would like change their course.
Okay.
And they escaped death. But because they escaped death came for them in different ways.
Oh, and then it like changed their destiny and then it was like different.
Yes. So like they were meant to die, quote unquote. And so then they were like, death was like chasing them. Anyway, I would see these things happening that weren't real, kind of like in these movies.
Yeah.
So that was what I referenced as intrusive thoughts. That was the only terminology I knew in 2021 to explain what was happening in my brain to my
Final
psychiatrist.
Destination.
And she was like, honey, they're called intrusive thoughts. Okay. Yeah.
Oh my God. I love that for you. But I hate that for you.
You need to look up these movies because I really can't comprehend how you don't know what I'm
But
talking
what is
about.
the one where they're literally like on the city bus and it's not Sandra Bullock? It's who's that brown haired lady?
I don't. Maybe we're talking about the same
what am I
thing, but I
talking
don't know
about?
what you're talking about. I don't think.
Yes. Speed.
Okay, no, not what I'm
On the
talking about.
bus.
Not what I'm talking about.
No, not what I'm talking about. Okay.
I'm going to say this quietly so I do not jinx it. Actually, I'll say it at full volume so you can hear me. But Nell has started sleeping really well lately, and I'm like almost afraid to say it out loud. If you're a new parent, you know bedtime can feel like the most unpredictable part of the entire day. And that is exactly why I am so glad we have our Hatch. Hatch Baby features expert sleep support, including real-time one-on-one sleep consultant chat, milestone sleep guides, and also those cool science-backed lights and sounds. And here's the part that gives me peace of mind. If we hit a rough patch, and every parent does, we hit a rough patch at month 4, I can open the real-time sleep consultant chat and talk to an actual person instead of spiraling in Nell's bedroom at 3 a.m. alongside her. Every Hatch baby includes 3 months of this expert sleep support and the premium content, and it grows with your child and supports healthy sleep routines from bassinet when they first come home from the hospital to their big kid bed. It now comes in 5 dreamy colors. Head to hatch.co/baby to shop and learn more. You can also find Hatch Baby on Amazon, Target, and Babylist registries. Again, that is hatch.co/baby to shop and get real-time sleep support. Can I please, just for a minute, talk about my Cozy Earth bamboo sheet set? I have more than one. I think I have 3 in the closet. They are made from viscose from bamboo. They are buttery soft. They sleep cool. And getting into that bed at night is one of the only parts of my whole day that feels like real me time. It is like sleeping on a cloud. And gosh darn it, that cloud is going to be cozy. But here's the thing that I keep coming back to because Father's Day is coming up. We talk constantly about moms needing rest and a little bit of me time, but the dads and the stepdads and the father figures in our lives, they need that exact same thing. And honestly, they are the last ones to ever give it to themselves. So this Father's Day, give them that. You know what I mean? The everywhere pant is the kind of thing people get a little bit obsessed with. They're light stretch, breathable, barely wrinkles. One customer loved them so much that they bought 3 pairs. Pair it with the everyday polo. And that is comfort that he will actually live in all summer. So for the dads, the stepdads, the grandpas, and every father figure who shows up, this one's for them, you guys. Cozy Earth's bamboo sheet set, the everywhere pant, and the everyday polo are designed to keep him cool, comfortable, and actually relaxed all summer long. This is where dads want to live, in cozy stuff from Cozy Earth. So head to cozyearth.com and use my code GOODMOM for an exclusive 20% off. That's code GOODMOM for an exclusive 20% off. And if you see a post-purchase survey, please mention that you heard about Cozy Earth right here on Tell Me I'm a Good Mom.
Let's do the group chat. We have a lot of questions.
Yay. We just started doing this on my show and it's so fun.
Can we talk about how there's no aftercare support when you have a baby?
Oh, can we?
Yeah, we can.
It's like, here, come see me at the end of your pregnancy every week. You feel like you live in that doctor's office and then you give birth and it's like, okay, we need to see your baby in 1 week and in 2 weeks and then 4 weeks. But you know what? You just had a major life moment. A baby came out of your vagina or your belly. We'll see you in 6 weeks. Huh?
It's insane.
It's insane.
The lack of care, the lack of research, the lack of education. At work, we talk about this idea that the system should do better, but there is no system.
And I don't blame the doctors. The doctors are overworked. They also weren't taught. Like,
well, if the research and education isn't there, then how are they supposed to pass on the information to their patients?
Exactly. I just remember in the hospital, the nurse turned to me after my first and was like, okay, so here are your discharge papers. Watch this scary movie about shaken baby syndrome. Yeah. And then call me if you pass a blood clot that's larger than a golf ball. And I was like, you think I'm going to wait until it's the size of a golf ball to call you? And then they just like send you on your way.
Yeah, I had a fucking C-section and they were like, okay, don't get soap in it. Bye-bye.
Crazy. Yeah, the C-section is a whole different world. Like you had like a massive surgery.
I was shocked by the lack of information and guidance provided to me for C-section care after my procedure. Like if you had had knee surgery, you would have left the hospital with way more information about like what was happening and how to recover and
what to put on it,
etc.
Products.
Yeah.
There's a massive lack of care. And I honestly don't know what the answer is. Other countries have figured it out, so I don't know why we're so behind. I mean, it goes into everything. It goes into childcare. It goes into maternity leave.
I think the childcare piece of it and like providing support there is a piece of the puzzle. But I think that there is like a specific lack of like, what do I do with my body?
I will say I appreciate that companies are starting to focus on this. Like I do think that there are some companies trying to fill that gap.
Yeah.
But I think for the medical aspect to shift, that starts from the funding and the research in our government. And I don't feel confident in that in this stage of
I don't
life.
feel that confident about that either right now, but I agree with you. And it's like kind of what we were talking about earlier in the episode. I am so in this spot right now and seeing where all of these like massive holes lie.
There's so
and I'm
many.
like, what can I do about this? How
Mhm.
can I help? And that's why I originally started my company. It was more like a general vaginal health at that point.
Yeah, but it's all the vagina.
the lore.
Yeah.
The lore. I've been talking about lore, people's
The
lore a
lore.
lot lately.
Yeah,
the
but you've been talking about
lore-
vaginas for years.
The lore is the same. It's
Yeah.
all about the vagina. It still is all about the vagina. Do you
Mhm.
know what I mean? I just think it's shocking. It feels really hurtful that there's like that this like support system doesn't exist for women.
Yeah.
And I think what I hear most from people that tune into this show is that they feel really isolated and they wish that somebody had just clued them in because women are strong and badass and they can handle the truth.
Mhm.
So why aren't we telling moms about the reality of this? Do
Okay.
you know what I mean?
So, yes.
It's like falling onto just us as like individual humans,
I have a lot
the
of thoughts on
tribe, the
this.
village, to like communicate this.
I think it's multifaceted. Number one is someone can sit here and tell you, I think, yes, you're correct. We need to be talking about this more. There needs to be more education. It needs to be more of a discussion. However, I think someone can sit here and tell you all of these things about postpartum, all of these things about motherhood, all these things you will never, ever comprehend. And I don't mean this in a diminishing way. I mean it in the reality. You will never comprehend what it is like until you experience it.
Okay, valid. I said this to my husband the other day. I was like, it doesn't click until you live it.
No, it's like someone could sit here and tell me the emotions and the feelings of losing a parent. And I could be like, I feel so badly for you, but I will never understand what that experience is until one day I would experience it. And so I think there's that layer. I think the second layer is when women talk about it, specifically when women talk about it, unfortunately, oftentimes it's other women who come for them being like, stop. I mean, I get this all the time. Stop scaring people. Like, motherhood isn't awful. No one said it's awful. Like, there's so much pushback on that like sometimes many of us are like, okay, is it even fucking worth trying to have these conversations if people are just going to be like diminishing and downplaying all the time? I think the greatest thing we can do for anyone in postpartum is validate their emotions.
Yeah.
Because the one consistent thing of pregnancy, of conception, pregnancy, delivery, and postpartum is that no two journeys are the same.
Yeah.
So whether you had like the most wonderful pregnancy in the world, I would be like, that's so great. I'm so happy for you. Not my experience at all. So happy for you. You had a traumatic birth. I'm so sorry that was your experience. All of your feelings around that are very valid. I had an incredible delivery and I would do it 100 times over. Like, everyone has different experiences and we've lost the nuance of accepting that people can have different experiences in society.
I cannot agree with you more.
Sorry, I just got on my soapbox.
No, this is, I talk about this all the time. Specifically, and like, sorry, let's go back to the Love Wellness origin story. When I started my company, the amount of journalists that wrote articles making fun of the business and the products and the need states clearly had never had a vaginal health issue. And they just believed in their heart, because that was not that their experience, that it invalidated the fact that other women could be having the experience. It didn't fucking dawn on them that other people could have a different like vaginal health journey than their own. They were like, oh, why would you need a probiotic for this? Like, what? It literally shocked me. And I didn't have the language for it back then to talk about the fact that like, just because you haven't experienced it doesn't mean that it's not valid for somebody else.
It makes me so, it's my biggest issue with the internet right now.
But I have the language now and you have the language now. And clearly we're doing a lot of talking about this. But yeah, it's like, there's so much nuance, and I think we just have to be open and understanding to the fact that like everybody has a different journey, and just because you have not gone through that doesn't mean that it doesn't exist for somebody else.
And I think it's important to hear everyone's journey. Like, it's important to hear my best friend who had a really traumatic birth and tell her story, and for me to tell my story of how wonderful of my birth I had, because you could go, you never know what you're going to get. And so I do think you literally never know.
Yeah.
So I think it's very helpful. Same with breastfeeding. Like we go in with all these like, I'm going to breastfeed for blah, 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 blah. You have no fucking idea.
Yeah.
You have no idea what's going to happen with your nipples, what's going to happen with their latch, what's going to happen with their digestive system. Like you cannot plan for shit. And so I think knowing all of the different potential outcomes is the most beneficial thing.
Yeah. Somebody asked me yesterday online. They were like, hey, I'm pregnant and I'm having my baby in December and my husband's sister is getting married in October and everybody expects us to be there at the wedding, like 2 weeks postpartum. And
Woof.
I'm really scared because like, how are we going to get there? How the baby's going to be sick? I'm paraphrasing, obviously. And my POV on that is like, this is your first baby. And like
You do not
4 to
need-
8 weeks postpartum is very challenging to get to a wedding. Oh, it's a 2-hour flight away. I missed that important fact. And she was like, my husband is still obviously going. And I just sort of like was like, well, you know, maybe just don't go and your pediatrician wouldn't recommend it, et cetera. But the point is that somebody DM'd me and said, this woman is like so selfish. This is her husband's sister who's getting married. And I replied in the DMs to this person. I said, listen, it is June and this pregnant woman is so stressed out about this wedding in December that's 6 months out that she's literally asking me what she should do about it now. Because the person in my DMs was like, I went to a wedding right after.
Who the fuck
and
cares?
It was fine.
I'm sorry.
It was like, it was fine. You have to show up for people, da-da-da. And I said, you know, like that's your experience.
Everyone's experience is different.
This pregnant woman is so stressed out about this already that she's in my inbox asking what she should do about it. And so again, try to get outside of yourself and understand that people have different experiences than you.
Yeah.
And that is okay. And like, yes, it would be really nice if she could be at her sister-in-law's wedding. But when your fucking butthole is bleeding after you have a baby 6 weeks later and your baby doesn't have vaccines and shouldn't be on an airplane, maybe you're not going to go to the wedding.
Yeah. And that's, I would think anyone would understand that.
Her the bride and the family don't understand. Okay, next question.
I think that's on them, not on you.
I have officially entered my 5-minute makeup era. And like, I'm not mad about it. It's just the new reality now that I have a 5-month-old. And I'm back at work full time and I'm doing this podcast full time and I'm momming full time also. It's a lot. So I don't have a ton of time. These days, my whole routine is basically blush, a little lip because I think that combo is chic, and just a touch of coverage exactly where I need it. And that is it. I'm going for like clean skin with a little bit of coverage. And again, just really focusing on like a beautiful blush and a beautiful lip. And that is where Merit fits into my life right now. Merit is a minimalist beauty brand that makes elevated makeup and skincare designed to help you look put together in minutes. I can attest to that. Their Flush Balm gives me that natural, healthy flush without looking like I tried too hard. And the Minimalist does double duty as a foundation and a concealer. So I can just tap, tap, tap a little coverage exactly where I want it. And then I move on with my morning. Everything is clean, it's vegan, it's cruelty-free, and it's made with skincare ingredients that are actually good for your skin. That's one of the things I love about Merit is that they're thinking about your skin through the makeup. It is makeup that meets the reality of my daily routine, which right now is truly about 5 minutes long. Right now, Merit Beauty is offering our listeners their signature makeup bag. It is so cute. You've seen it online, everybody. They're offering the signature makeup bag with your first order at meritbeauty.com. That's MERIT beauty.com to get your free signature makeup bag with your first order. My husband and I both work full time and then some. So between our two schedules, our childcare and everything that little Miss Nell has going on, keeping our week straight, used to live in a mess of text messages and sticky notes hung around the apartment. So we hung up a skylight calendar right in our kitchen, and it has genuinely changed how we run our days. It is an all-in-one digital smart calendar that syncs with Google Calendar, Apple Calendar, Outlook. So my schedule, my husband's, and our childcare are finally in one place everyone can see. It is really so cool. It just like pulls all this information together. And as Nell gets older and our childcare needs grow, having one shared reward system instead of 3 separate brains has truly been everything. You can give each person their own color. You can manage events and chores and grocery lists in one spot. And if you're not 100% thrilled within 4 months, you can return it for a full refund. No questions asked. Pretty cool, right? Families are better when they're working together. Right now, Skylight is offering our listeners $30 off their 15-inch calendars by going to myskylight.com/goodmom. So go to myskylight.com/goodmom for $30 off your 15-inch calendar. That is myskylight.com/goodmom.
Oh, okay. Next question. What's the deal with mom clicks? Why can't we all be friends?
Okay.
Good question.
Okay.
I don't really have like a mom click yet. Because I'm just a few months postpartum.
Yeah, you're
and I have
fresh.
like not really left the house yet.
Mhm.
We're still very on like the tight
Yeah.
schedule. But you are going to have 3 kids. Do you have a mom click?
I don't have a mom clique. I have so many incredible friends. Like,
Oh.
I cherish my female friendships with every fiber of my being. I talk about them a lot on my show and in my content. Like, I've always been someone who's deeply loyal and deeply prioritizes female friendships. I saw it from a very young age with my mom through her life and then through her friends losing husbands traumatically in my childhood and like their crew rallying for each other. So I am so blessed with so many incredible friends. I don't feel the clickiness. I have a multitude of different groups, but I've always been someone who merges my worlds. So like my high school best friends are very close with my college best friends.
Oh, that's
My
so
college
nice.
best friends are really close with my cousins and my real world, quote unquote, friends that I met post school and my neighborhood group that I've met since I moved out to the suburbs. Like, I don't feel an iota of, well, she's from this stage of my life. You can't have her, you know?
Weird.
Obviously, there was like all of that drama with the LA mom group.
I was going to say, it clicked to my brain. I was like, wait, those celebs.
The celebs. Let me just say, Mandy Moore is the nicest celebrity I've ever met in my life. She came on my show. I have like stayed friendly with her since. She's the sweetest woman. I have
That's
nothing but
nice.
positive things to say about her. And I hate that she got dragged into all of that. But I think that the reality is that like, not everyone blends. Not everyone is meant to be your best friend.
Not everyone clicks in the
Not
click.
everyone, not even in the clique, just not everyone clicks. So like, I've always approached mom friends, quote unquote, as the fact that like, we may be perfectly matched to like have our kids have play dates and be able to chit chat through the play dates. And like, that's kind of the degree of our friendship and that's completely fine. Or we may have like very different values and opinions and views on the world. And maybe our kids are friends and like, that's great, but we don't have to really have a friendship. Or we might like completely mesh and want to do everything together. And that's also great.
Totally.
I think we try to put everyone in that latter box of like, we have to be best friends. And I don't think that's the reality because just because someone else has a kid that age doesn't mean that you're like the same person. You may have very different values. You may have very different beliefs. You may have very different interests. And so accepting that some people might be like a playground friend or like, oh, let's get coffee every like month or so, or like you're texting 24/7 and the conversation never ends. I just find that there's such a force that everyone has to be the last one. And if it's not that, then you're not friends. And I just disagree with that. I have
feel
friends,
so immature to me, to
feel
be
so
honest
immature.
with you.
Like my friends serve very different purposes. I don't mean that in a mean way, but like we all have different friendships.
It also feels immature for me to use the word immature and be like, you're so immature.
You're
But
so
like
immature.
the
No.
reality is that we're adults and you get to choose who you spend time with.
And not everyone has not everyone has the time.
Not everybody has the time.
Like there are people who I love deeply and wish I could spend more time with, but we have very different life schedules. And so it's like, I'll see you when I get to see you.
You know, it's really interesting that this person is talking about like clicks because I'm not there yet
Yeah.
in my motherhood journey. Where I'm at is like I'm part of like these really great like group chats with other moms where none of us are really hanging out IRL, but we have a very open, supportive community
Right.
on our phones. And like that is fine, right? Like,
And
would
I
it
think
be
that's
nice
so
to hang
necessary.
out IRL? Yes. But like, again, we're still on like the every 3-hour feeding schedule and
Yeah.
must nap in between. So how the fuck am I supposed to get out of the house
Yeah.
yet? It's just, I think that also is like, I don't know, for me, I keep wondering like, oh, when am I going to make all of these mom friends? And I just don't think my baby is like old enough yet for us to
You're
be like
so
out
fresh.
doing all of these things. And do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm not having play dates with other moms. So
No.
I'm like not the right person to answer this question, but Cam
I
is,
just think
because she has so many friends. But I will say what I have experienced so far has been very like open and generous
me.
and kind and welcoming. And so to even get a question about mom clicks is kind of surprising to me.
Does it exist? 100%. I'm not saying it doesn't exist.
Does it exist?
Yes, it does exist. And I witness it. I think I live in an area where I'm less privy to it, but I have friends in other areas and they'll tell me shit. And I'm like, you were in high school. Like what you were experiencing is high school. Okay. So I think it's potential of like your surroundings. I also think it's potentially how you like approach things.
Yeah.
You know, I was just texting a friend about this where I was like, I feel like this one friend of ours is kind of like being cold to me. I don't know what's going on. I've really tried to continuously make an effort and it feels really one-sided. Do you have any advice?
Yeah.
And she was like, the reality is, I think she's going through some stuff. She's got a lot on her plate. You have so many other friendships to pour into. Like, does it really matter to you in this moment of life? And I was like, honestly, no. I was wondering if there was anything I should do, but like, I think that's just the hand that's been dealt of our friendship. And like, I'm okay with that. And I'm not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah.
I sometimes feel like we put friendships under a microscope of like, everything has to be perfect. Everyone has to hold this aspect of their relationship and you have to do this and this and this. And if you don't, then it's over. And relationships ebb and flow, as do your closeness with people, as do how often you see people. And so I think that there are clicks that you can obviously play into and build all this up. But I would just rather like enjoy my time with the people who I love and want to spend time with and who want to spend time with me.
It's about like finding people that want to spend time with you.
Completely.
It's like dating.
You don't want to force someone to want to hang out with you.
Correct. It really is like dating. It's
Yeah.
like, why would you want to be with somebody that doesn't want to be with you?
No.
So she asked, like, why can't we all be friends? Everyone is all friends.
Yeah.
I think that is also like something that I have found and seen is that like everybody is all friends. It's just like, what is the degree of that friendship?
What is the degree? And also, I sometimes feel badly because I have such incredible people in my life from different walks of my life who are still in it.
Yeah.
Where like I don't have more
Yeah.
time to give. And there might be someone that like at my son's school who I really enjoy, but it's nothing against them. It's just like maybe they don't have a spare second to give. I don't have a spare second to give. And just kind of accepting that. And instead of being like, oh, it's something I did.
Yeah.
I would just like to acknowledge that we are halfway through the year of 2026. Like it's June, everyone. And a lot of people are running on empty right now without fully realizing it. So I want to talk about growth therapy. Growth therapy helps you find care that's covered by insurance before your burnout becomes the baseline. And I think about this a lot with motherhood. Everyone is so focused on that one big moment when you first have the baby. But the truth is, we need support throughout every season, through trying to conceive, through the hard months nobody posts about, and through all of it, long after the casserole stops showing up. Therapy is one of the most valuable things you can do for yourself, and Grow makes it genuinely doable. They connect you with thousands of licensed therapists, virtual or in person, nights and weekends. And you can start in as little as 2 days with no subscriptions. Whatever challenges you're facing, Grow Therapy is here to help. Grow accepts over 125 insurance plans, and sessions average $21 with insurance. And some pay as little as $0 depending on their plan. Visit growtherapy.com/goodmom today to get started. That's growtherapy.com/goodmom. Availability and coverage vary by state and insurance plan.
Okay, next question, our last question for today. And I don't really, I like don't talk about stuff that much.
Okay.
But this is a stuff
Ooh,
question.
okay.
And I actually think it's kind of fun to answer a stuff question with like two moms on the show. Top 10 baby things to buy and not buy for a first timer who's 38 years old. Let's get into it.
Okay, top 10. Well, you're really fresh. So do
I'm
you want to
so
do it
fresh.
first and then I'll say whether I agree or not?
Yeah.
'Cause
Okay.
Another thing,
Yeah,
everyone has
yeah.
different opinions.
Everyone has different opinions and everyone has like different needs and different ways that they run their household.
Yes.
So I would say that people focus way too much on like outfits and cutesy shit out of the gate. Like
Crazy waste of
blankets
time.
and outfits and stuffed animals. And all of that shit is a complete waste of money and time.
Mm-hmm.
You need onesies.
Onesies and diapers and pajamas that have zips.
Yes. You need onesies and diapers and pajamas. And you need like a sleep slack.
Yeah.
How do I even say that?
Sleep sack?
Slack? Sleep.
A swaddle.
Those are soupe. A swaddle.
Okay, so on that list, Velcro swaddles.
Yes.
I love Velcro. And I'm actually very good swaddler, but I love a Velcro swaddle.
So we actually used the literal blankets from the hospital
So did
with
I,
stripes
for the
on them
beginning.
for weeks.
Yes.
And then we transitioned into the Velcro swaddle.
Mm-hmm.
And they're affordable. They're on Amazon.
I love Halo.
I can't remember what brand we used.
My one kid was like really specific about he needed like the fleece. He was an October baby. The fleece Halo sleep swaddle.
Cute.
Yeah.
I don't know what that
word
is,
so
but I'm
hard
going to
for me
look
to
it
say.
up.
Well, it's summertime. You don't want to know. But zipper pajamas.
Yeah. We have just started using those like magnet pajamas.
Zipper or magnet.
And they're
but
pretty
no
great, actually.
snaps.
Yeah.
Snaps on the most
Literally,
like don't buy anything with snaps.
You're gonna want to murder your life if anything you own has snaps on it.
Yes.
For your new baby. And the zip, if it's a zipper, it needs to be a
Two-way
two-way zipper. Okay,
Two-way.
a two-way zipper or magnets,
Yes.
and that's it. You need a lot of bibs and burp cloths.
Yes.
Not sexy, but you need a lot of bibs and burp cloths. I don't know whether you're breastfeeding or bottle feeding or formula feeding or whatever, but if you are bottle feeding, I can't even recommend a bottle to you because you will go through nine different bottles and 9 different nipples.
Yeah. Everyone's so different.
Everyone is so different.
What do you use?
We use a pigeon with a Lansanow nipple.
Okay. We were Dr. Brown's family.
I hated Dr. Brown.
Yeah. But that's the thing. Everyone has different.
Everyone has
Are
different.
you a Baby Brezza fan?
Oh, yes.
of the
That's on the list.
Yeah.
The bottle washer machine.
Oh, the best.
The best.
The best. But so I'll post.
Everyone's like, just put it in the washing machine. I'm like, no.
I don't run my dishwasher that often.
I don't run my dishwasher. The amount of times that you run the
That
bottle
fucking
washer
bottle washer.
machine in the first few weeks that you have a newborn is insane. You run it 4 times a day, okay?
Yes.
So you need the special stupid little machine.
So I will always say that and the Baby Brezza formula maker.
No, not the formula maker.
Oh, see, I loved the formula maker, but
I read that you have to wash it completely like every 3rd bottle.
No, not every 3rd bottle. It tells you when, and you just take it out and you wash. You buy 2 of the things, and you
Okay.
just take it out and wash it and let dry and put it right back in.
Then you must have had a high functioning one because
But
I have
people
gotten
have very mixed opinions.
I have gotten so many DMs about the formula mixer thing that they didn't realize they were like doing it wrong or the machine was broken and then their
Well, you have
baby
to have it
was
on the
not
right
gaining
setting.
weight.
Yes.
And then the bottle was messed up. So
Yes.
fair warning.
Fair
if
warning.
you buy that, I think it's stupid. If you buy the
No, but
formula
this-
machine,
no, everyone has different
I know.
opinions.
But if you buy it, fair warning, it can be malfunctioning and you won't know.
Okay, and you have yes, it has to be on the right setting for your formula. Okay,
Yes, it does. This feels too
But
high stakes for me.
but I do love that. I loved it.
Okay, Cam
If
loves
not
it.
a mixer, a pitcher, a formula pitcher.
Yeah.
The Dr. Brown's one. We would make a pitcher in the morning.
Totally valid. And you just like do it all for the whole day.
Yes.
Yes.
Are you a wet wipe warmer person?
No.
Absolutely not. I think that's a no.
My husband and I were like, our baby is gonna nap anywhere and be able to drink any temperature, milk, and all this stuff. And we actually have stuck to that pretty well because we want to be like low stress about it. But no, not the wipes warmer.
Neither. I will say also, like, I gave my babies cold bottles, like, or
Yeah.
room temperature. I
Yeah.
never warmed it for them. And that honestly was a game changer
Oh, same.
for
Room
the
temp.
ability of them to be able to have it on the go.
Completely. Room temp or a little
Um,
bit cold, 100%. Get them used to that temperature.
A
out of
baby
the gate.
bouncer, like the baby Bjorn, like something
We
you can just
used-
like put the baby in.
Yeah, we had a Moses basket.
Sure.
Love the
anything.
Moses basket. But yeah, you need like a Moses basket or you need like the baby Bjorn thing. You also need to decide, are you going to have a baby camera in the room? I feel like
Oh, I'm a
every
big
human
Nanit girl.
does at this same. And so you're going to need to decide the system that you want to use.
Yes. I love the Nanit.
The foot thing, I wouldn't recommend. I couldn't get the foot thing to
Oh,
work.
the outlet. I never did that.
Yeah, that feels like you're going too far down
It
the
would give
road.
me more postpartum anxiety.
Yeah, totally.
Do you use the butt spatula?
We own a butt spatula.
Because I'm like the biggest pro butt spatula.
Like, we use it, but also we don't use it.
When my friends give birth, I will buy them. Like, I have this, like, I think I actually have it on an Amazon list of like best things to buy your friend who just had a baby because they don't need a fucking baby blanket or a lovey
No,
or a rattle.
no.
I give the butt spatula because I love it.
Yeah.
The baby shusher. Do you have that?
We do, but
Have you used it?
I just couldn't get into the baby shusher.
Okay. Worked like a charm for my children.
Isn't that crazy?
Yes.
Oh, see, it's like totally individual. You just don't
what
know.
else
But
is on
the
that
baseline
list?
things are critical.
Oh, if you're breastfeeding, the silver nipple.
Oh, silverettes.
Yes, those I loved.
Yeah.
I mean, I love all Frida mom postpartum stuff.
Yeah.
For the mom. Like, I think that's,
Oh my God, we're not even talking about mom stuff.
yeah, like, but to have.
Yeah.
Again, you don't know if you're going to have a vaginal or a C-section delivery, but they have kits for each that I think are really helpful.
So, yeah, okay, wait, let's talk about breastfeeding for a second because the lactation consultants hate this thing, but real world, it can help you so much. What are those clear things you put over the nipple that the baby
nipple
latches
shields?
onto? Nipple shields.
I had inverted nipples my entire life. Nipple
Okay.
shields are the only reason I was able to breastfeed with my first child.
The nipple shield was the only reason I was able to breastfeed with no.
Yeah.
Because breastfeeding is a skill that you develop. And it is a skill that your baby also develops. Nobody like knows how to breastfeed.
No
Just
one.
nobody knows how. It's extremely
Even if you've done it before.
challenging. It's so challenging. The latch, the grit, the angle, nipple shields, and nobody knows about nipple shields.
I know. I actually, wow, this is sending
One
me
of the
back
nurses
to my
in the
first.
hospital brought me the nipple shield, not the lactation
My doula
consultant.
did. Yeah, she was
See?
like, girl, we need to give you a nipple because you don't have
The
one.
less the ladies that bring you the nipple shield, the lactation consultants hate the nipple shield because it's like not purist or whatever. But
They
I'm
think
sorry.
it's gonna like ruin
you.
the experience. I mean, they're the like the same people who are like, don't give a baby a pacifier. Fucking shove that pacifier in that baby's mouth.
Fuck you is all I have to say. The weeks that I did breastfeed, the nipple shield is the only reason that I was able to do it successfully. So thank you to the nurse that taught me about it.
People are like, but were you ever able to do it without? Yes, I weaned my boob and my baby off the nipple shields, and then I was breastfeeding without them.
Correct. You're like, baby gets better at this stuff as they get older. But when they're like a little potato newborn, like it's really hard for them. Anyway.
Are you a snoo person?
No.
Okay, I'm a big snoo fan. I am. But if you have a night nurse, I don't think the snoo is necessary.
We had a night nurse.
But we didn't have one with our first, so we bought the snoo. And I will say like 15 babies have slept in that snoo. We have like the traveling snoo. It goes to all of our friends and
somebody
friends
gave
of
us a
friends
snoo. We didn't use it. And so now we're like passing it on down the road.
I really love it. But I also set it to specific things because I don't want it to go. Sometimes it goes so fucking crazy that I'm like, what is happening?
I'm like one of those moms that gets paranoid about, if there's like too much of a crutch or an aid, then the baby won't be able to learn how to do it on their own. But I don't know if that is like real.
Valid. My biggest thing was it gave my anxiety a lot of safety because I love the swaddle. And that
don't you like strap that baby into the snoo?
You strap that motherfucker in like they are in a tight jacket, and then you strap the sides of the swaddle onto the machine.
Oh wow!
So they really cannot move. So for me, that gave me so much peace of mind.
Wow!
And I mean, the sound literally haunts me from sleeping next to it with my first for so long. But if you set it, I just kept it on weaning mode, I think it was called, the entire time. So it was never going too insane.
Yeah.
And I found, But then again, my second didn't sleep for 6 months. So who the fuck knows?
We have, well, Nell sleeps now, but we have something called a snooze pod, which I can recommend.
I don't know that.
So we only had our night nurse a few days a week. And then the other days of the week, she slept in our room, obviously.
Yeah.
And we got, instead of a snoo, the snooze pod. And I loved it because you can like move it around really easily.
Oh, that's nice.
And it has like a thing on the bottom that you can keep products, etc.
Nice.
It's like a nice mesh on the side. So I loved our snooze pod because I feel like you have to figure out like what's the bassinet I'm going to put in my room.
Completely.
And there are so many options and
the
choices.
Snooze a bitch to move around.
Yeah.
Another thing, and this isn't this wouldn't be on your radar, but if you live in a house with multiple floors, the best thing we did because we lived in a house with our second postpartum, is I created a baby changing station on the first floor. So we got like a portable changing table, basically. It's on wheels, but we just parked it in one spot next to this window on our first floor.
Yep.
And that was always, and still is, because friends who are over all the time use it when we're hosting, stocked with diapers and wipes and Aquaphor and diaper cream and all of the stuff, so that you don't have to go upstairs for every single change.
We actually had the same thing. We had our living room changing
So
station.
you were like, I'm not going to that room. We're
Well, if you have a night nurse, they sleep in the morning.
Yes. Okay, fair.
And so we needed like another station in the
Yes.
house where we could care for the baby. So yes, two care stations in the room, and then like in the home. I think
Yeah.
I can ship that for sure. I can't think of anything else. I'm
trying to
sure
think of
there's a
things
million
that-
other things.
Oh,
but
I mean, I have so many Amazon lists on
you
this.
just need the basics, you guys. Just the unsexy basics is what you
Mhm.
need.
I'm trying to think of overrated things. My biggest one is the wet wipe warmer. But again, people have mixed opinions on that. People think that a lot of things I love are overhyped, and that's so valid and fair.
Yeah. I don't know. I think that's like a pretty good
That's a good list.
roundup. The only other thing I would say is like when you're bathing your baby, put that bath on your counter so that you're doing it like at like hip height, like on the kitchen counter or on the bathroom
I never once
counter.
did that. Never
Really?
once. No.
Well, I had a C-section and a terrible
Oh,
back, so
so
I
fair.
like couldn't like lean over into the
Yeah.
tub.
But again, it's like everyone does things so differently. It's wild.
It's so that's the theme
But I
for
also
today's
bathed
show.
in my first. I think back about this a lot. I have photos from it from his first bath, where like, like the mesh bath seat.
Yes.
Not mesh, but like the angel something,
Yes.
where like there's no water around them.
Yeah.
We put that in the bath, but no water in the bath, and we were like pouring water over him, and he was like fucking freezing
I
because
know.
he's like getting wet and then just like in dry air.
We use this.
I was
Yeah.
like, that's not how you're supposed to do that.
Correct. We use the Lalo tub, which is great because you can fill it with water, and then we put this like little thing that like sort of like
Props her
secures her better in that because
Yes.
she's not big enough to be in that little Lalo
The
tub on
Freedom
her own.
the Frida Baby has like a 4-in-1. It can change.
Yeah, I don't know. There's
Yeah.
tons of fucking shit out there. Let's wrap up the stuff conversation. Everything you buy, half of it you'll use, half of it you will be like,
It's trial and error.
I will never use this again. It's all trial and error.
Mhm.
And just get prepared to have like 1,000 boxes from Amazon show up.
Yes. And also, that's why I recommend text all of your friends and see what they have and they're willing to share,
Yeah.
who like maybe just went through it. Like my house is a revolving door of baby shit that I'm giving to friends and getting back and giving and getting
Yep.
back and giving and getting back.
100%. You don't have to buy a lot of this stuff.
Yeah.
Good idea. Good point. Good point. Guys, that's today's episode. Cam, you're the best.
You're the best. Thank you so much for having me.
Where can everybody find you?
I mean, social media, it's at Cameron Oaks Rogers on Instagram and TikTok. Podcast is Conversations with Cam. We also, I like rarely promote this and I need to be better. I do have a small business, Quiet Your Mind and Busy Your Hands. It's a adult coloring and affirmation book. And then we also have, or it's an adult journal and coloring affirmation book. And then we also have a kids edition for 3 and up, which is like my baby and what I want to focus more on
that's
after
so
this actual
cool.
baby is here. And that's at quiet-your-mind. And that's everything.
Love. We
Yeah.
could talk for 19 hours.
I know. I could be here forever.
But this can't be a 19-hour episode, so we're going to cut it off now. All right. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. Bye.